I'm the mom who knows not. My name is Brianna, and thank you for tuning in to part 2 of Vega's sobriety journey. She shares a lot of gems of information in this. So we talk about what inspired her, the boundaries she's setting with work, as well as with herself, non-negotiables, amongst other things. And we also delve into my pandemic drinking and why I think that's a problem. So tune in now, and I hope you enjoy.
Side note, a question I get a lot. So when are you going to drink again? What do you mean? What do you mean when are you going to drink again? Yeah, that's like asking a heroin addict, when are you going to shoot up again?
Yeah.
You don't ask that. So like, why is it so okay with you asking me when I'm going to drink again instead of being like, oh my God, or you know what I mean? People get weird about.
No, I understand.
Hey, I'm not drinking. You're not drinking. Why not? I don't want to drink. Well, why not? And when I don't want to deal with it, I tell them, I had a problem with this and that. And then like back up, but it depends. Like some person's like annoying and rude. I'll be like, yeah, I had a problem. And I like make them shut up that way. Or I could be like, my favorite thing to say is, I wish I reached my quota at a young age. That's what I say. That's what I say. They go, and so, and if they want to talk about it, they'll ask me questions like respectfully for sure. And I'll be like, hey, that's fine. And if I don't want to talk about it, I won't. But, some people are like, oh my God, wow. And then some people at the bar are like, I needed to hear that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm never preachy. I'm never preachy when I'm behind the bar because obviously I feel like a hypocrite. Don't drink. And I'm like pouring you a martini and like asking you for, to tip me. Like, no. Obviously time and place, read the room. But it's just like, I don't know. It's so cool being this way. And like my son is just like, he like loves, he like knows. And this another thing that really messes me up still. I used to not come home sometimes, and my son would be on the phone, and he'd be like, are you coming home? I'm like, yeah. And I wouldn't. And so now, especially when I was like getting sober, like the earlier stages, he'd be like, are you going to come home? And I'd be like, yeah. He's like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And I'd make sure I'd come home because like, he didn't know what I was doing, but he's like, why isn't mom there? And so now every single time, like I change my schedule. Like I don't work Saturdays because he has soccer. And, can you work? No, I promised Dominic, I don't even care if I promise him to take him for ice cream or take him to, like the other day we did like they're like, can you work? I was like, no, I'm watching a movie with my son. Well, can you, I don't care. Like I told my son, we're going to do a fort in the couch and watch eat popcorn. Okay. And so we're doing it. Like, I don't need to explain myself to you. And that's another thing. Sorry, I'm going to all these tangents. I've learned to establish all these boundaries, especially with work, especially with myself, especially learning to say no, because back to me wanting to be a people pleaser. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I get lost and who's there for you? No one.
No one cares.
No one's there.
You can be replaced. If you're in a restaurant, you can be replaced. Like 100%. No one gives a fuck. Like
I was like that. Like my aunt passed away, and she's the reason why we moved to Dallas. And I was working at North Italia, the one in Plano, and I was working there 4 doubles in a row. And my 4th double, I was like, hey, like we're all meeting up to go see my aunt. She's not probably gonna make it, so can I go? Like I wasn't even asking to like be off because I was doing a double, and it was the night. I was like, can I be cut early? He's like, no, you can't be cut early. And then she passed away. And so after that, I'm like, no, never again am I going to let something like that. I don't care. You can fire me if I don't care. I'll bounce back. I don't care. You know what I mean? But never again. And so even with my son, like never again let it be caught that, well, I gotta be there. I gotta do this. No, I don't care. My son even asked me, Mama, can you not work that much? I mean, I still have to work, but I'm not gonna go work there. So that's why I commit every single thing I say to Dominic or even to myself. When I started doing that, I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yep. I love that so much.
I started making that commitment to myself and to Dominic. So
well, and like they're children, they don't understand. Even my kid, like we have a different situation. Obviously, I'm married, but like he doesn't understand certain things. He'll be 4 in a few weeks, right? Yeah. they don't get it. And we've talked about this before about his dad's not there. So
Yeah.
you need to be there for him.
Yeah.
And you, like, I mean, there's no words like that. This foundation for the rest of their lives, you know. And I see it with Declan. He's got mom and dad, and I already see where he's so sensitive like I am and delicate in his personality. And I'm like, how the hell do I redirect this, even though he lives in a good health? Like, we're not perfect. Let's be real here. Yeah. Like, we're not perfect. We don't beat our kid or anything like that. He's got two loving parents who are probably too involved. But, you know, we do shout from time to time at him because he's a toddler and we have our limitations.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, the whole point is, like, regardless of whether you're a single parent or a parent of two homes, like, your kids need you to be present, and they feel it in a different way when you're not. So I like, that's admirable that you've come to that point where you're like, nope, screw that. That's my kid. Bye. Who cares? I'll figure it out.
I don't care. And that's the thing. My mom, I think my mom even said the other day too, like, she's like, Dominic, like, or like, not the other day, but like maybe a couple months ago, like, he just loves, like, he loves me so much, and he loves having me around, and he knows, he just, like, like, when I first started, like, not working as much and, like, you know, being at home, he just was like, oh, my mom is here too? Like, so awesome. Like, no, it was so cool. And I was like, dang, I got that, like, guilt. I'm getting better with it now, but, you know, that's why I do all this stuff, and it's not, but I have to be careful not to overcompensate. And, like, I would just, like, buy stuff. Yeah. But I'm like, no, that's like, oh, I'm gonna take him here. But then it was like the movie thing. I'm like, oh, I can take him to the movies. And I'm like, he doesn't care about that, dude. He just wants to sit next to me on the couch. Yep. You know, and he wants me to put my phone down. And he wants me to, you know, listen to him when he's telling a story instead of me like, shh, Dominic, like, okay, I'm trying to focus. What am I focusing on? Nothing. He wants that pillow for it. That's it. He just wants a pillow for it. Totally. All he did was like told my mom, oh my God, I can't wait to eat cotton candy and eat popcorn with Mama and watch a movie. Yeah. We didn't even end up watching the movie. We did it for like we sat there for like 30 minutes because of course afterwards he's like, let's go eat something, do something else. But like, we had to take the picture and do all this and like, he just likes to be like listened to, like, or like when I went to Chick-fil-A and brought him breakfast at school, dude. Oh, Mom, come to my school. Well, I know, right? No. Bring me breakfast. Right? Oh, what? I love it. There's a Chick-fil-A right by our house. They like know me by name. I'm like, it's me again. And so, you don't understand, like, the way this kid got up, like, Mama, what are you doing here? And just, like, thought he was such a celebrity at school. Such a celebrity. So cool. Dude. That's so cool. I mean, that kid's day. Just, like, and that's the cool part. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I get to do these things, I hate when people, like, some of my friends and some of the people that I know in passing, maybe not now as a 32-year-old, but when I was younger, they were like, oh, it sucks. Like, they would make comments that, like, I had a kid, I had to wake up early, and I'm like, dude, I kind of feel bad for you who you don't have kids. I'm sorry, but I kind of feel bad for you. And I know people can't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you're shitting on me. This is the best thing ever. I totally agree with you. Like, I'd never want to be a mom, and I just, like, look at this little human, and dude, he's so much like me, which is totally a problem because he's hyper emotional. But like the shit that comes out of his mouth, he goes yesterday, he's like loading the dishwasher, he's like, you don't have to tell me twice, and I'm like, oh, where did you get that from? He's like, hilarious. The stuff that comes out of his mouth, it's so funny. And the development, like, I'm not the most patient person, and I will readily admit that, but like the gifts that he has given me and the person that he has made me, it's like anybody who wants to shit on having a kid, like, I was that person, and I never like made anybody feel bad for, oh, you're having kids. I thought it was great. Whether you want to have kids, whether you want to be single, whether you want to be married, married and no kid, whatever your choice is, like, I'm always for it. Whatever's right for you. I didn't think I was going to be a good mom or a mom in general, and to be like, I feel like I'm fucking crushing it in a lot of ways, like that my parents did for me, like, because I'm aware, so I'm doing better than they could do. I'm like, okay, well, I'm raising
the future. And if I want this future for my kid, I have to teach him these things, right? And just to see these things click, like, people don't get it. Like,
really
they don't get it, and that's fine. I don't expect you to get it, but like, I'm not upset that I'm in bed at 8:30 on a Tuesday. That's amazing.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Let's go.
No, and I love it.
Let's do this. Oh man,
it's great. No, and that's the thing too. Like, I don't know. That's another thing when people would say about like having that boring life is your sobriety, and I'm like, this is what I like dreamt about. Like, obviously, you know, I hopefully to get married and like whatever. But right now it's just like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I feel like I'm not trust me, I'm not missing out on. I did have. I'm like, oh, I kind of have FOMO. Like, none of my friends are inviting me anymore. But then again, it's like, are they my friends? Are two of my friends?
You know, it's interesting you say that, because I think friendships, especially when you get older, get compartmentalized. Yeah. I have good friends who are like 15 years older than me, and their kids are like 20s, you know? Yeah. And they're doing other things because they're 50 and their kids are 20. And then I have friends who are my age who are just lost in like toddlerdom. And then I have friends who are, you know, my age, but, you know, have a 14-year-old, and their setup is different. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm not invited. But it's like, I also am the one in this like menagerie of ages that has a 4-year-old. So before I step out the door, it's costing me $50 for a sitter. So it's like, do I really want to go out? Do I really want to go do something? Do I like? Do I want to play? Like, if it's tennis, it's fine. I'm always down for that. But like, but I like truly hear what you're saying. It's like, some of them probably aren't friends. Yeah, and then some of them are probably conscientious of like where you are.
Right, and that's another thing too. Yeah.
Which is respectful, and we're not used to having the respect. So when it's given to us, we're like, oh,
right. I don't know how to, I was like, oh wait, they actually care about me. Yeah. I thought they were just being rude and not want. Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. Because I have a lot of friends that go out and they like, we've gone to dinner and stuff, and they're like, is it okay if I have a drink? I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. You do, but you know, I don't mind. Obviously, like I said, I still bartend, you know, and I'm like, no, that's fine. You know what I mean? And I totally appreciate that. But also, I'm not one of those people to be like, I'm sober, so you need to not do anything. Like, no, like, you're going to do me. If I feel uncomfortable, I'm just going to go home and remove myself from the situation.
That makes sense.
You know?
What about, have you had any struggles on this journey?
Struggles with just anything? Like, I think just temptation-wise.
Make it a year.
Yeah, temptation-wise, not really.
Awesome.
Which is really, really great, because some people, you know, the story when I, like, because we talk about it in my group, like, there's a thing we check in every day, like, you have any cravings, stuff like that. And I didn't really have any cravings. I think what happened maybe one time, I think it was when it was Cinco de Mayo, right? And that was usually like my favorite holiday. I mean, like, obviously Christmas, stuff like that. But like you know, tequila and tacos, like, one of my favorite.
Yeah.
So, but and it's one of the things, like, I wanted to go out for it because I wanted, you know, I was in the house. But I'm like, all right, let me just let this day pass and it'll be fine. You know, I think that was one of the main things. Like, St. Patrick's Day, no, didn't really bother me. But, and then I was wondering, like, maybe summer. I'm like, shoot, like, is summer going to bug me? Because, you know, having a drink at the pool. But then again, like I said, like, if I was going to the pool with Dominic, I didn't, like, bring drinks. Like, I just was still not drinking. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just was, like, drinking water, you know, bringing some sandwiches and stuff like that. So, you know, that didn't really affect me either. But what I really kind of struggled with was, like, every single time I hit a milestone, I had a relapse dream. I would have a relapse dream, and they were so real. And it was like I had to wake up and be like, oh my God, like, all this work I've done, and people, like, rooting for me, and, you know, whatever, like, was all out the window. And I wake up like, oh my God, like, freaking out about it. And so that would be kind of the thing I struggle with. And also too, like, when people ask me if I'm going to drink again, I don't say that, because you you can't think that way. You can't think like in the future. Like we say, one day at a time. Like we have to take it one day at a time. That's it. You know, and you, and then I'm like, oh shoot, what if I start drinking? Because then now I started kind of dating a little bit. Not like a person, but just like back in the dating scene.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I just did my pinky toe and I pulled it right back out. No. No, I was just like, this is terrible. I don't do this ever again. This is so terrible. No, thank you.
Oh my God.
No, thank you. No, thank you. And so then I was like, shoot, like, do we have to, like, I went on a coffee date. That was cute. That was cute. You know,
I love
like,
a coffee date. It's so good.
Cute. It was super cute. But also too, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of navigating that. It's not necessarily like a struggle. It's just something new that I don't know how to do it until I'm doing it. But like I said, I took my foot back. So
that's life, though.
Yeah,
dating,
right?
If we're talking about dating in particular, dating is so awkward. Like,
regardless, yeah.
My friends here and like divorced, you know, or like all the stuff, right? And it's like, I don't envy you at all. It is such a weird world, and it's how to go about it is so strange that, like, if it was me, I would just be like, nope, no thank you. I'm just gonna.
That's literally what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did. I get asked out on dates. I get asked out on dates all the time, and I literally, like, I've been trying to find a way to, like, say it without, like, because some guys are like, oh my God, you're like, what, really? What did I do? And I'm like, it's not you. It's me. It's really me. It's not you. Maybe a little bit you. Maybe a little bit, but it's really me because I don't want to do that. Also, like, I'm still like not repairing relationship with Dominic. But I'm also still like, I'm like still in that mode of like, no, it's just me and my son, dude. Like, and it's me and myself, and it's me and you know, whatever my future, like my career is gonna be. Like, I'm still in that mode, you know. And so, I think that if I am, you know, that would be my struggle. So I wouldn't think that it's my struggle with actually consuming or putting anything in my body. Because trust me, like I said, when I told you, like I said before, I block, delete so fast. I don't even go out to those places. Like, I save a lot on gas. It's great because I go to, like, the gym, I work, and Walmart. That's it. I don't go anywhere. And if I do, like, you know, like, we're going to go out to dinner on Wednesday night with some friends because they all want to support me and be there for my, you know, 1 year, which is nice. It's a dinner. Everyone's like, where are we going after? Home. I'm going home, dude. Like, I'm tired. I'm already, like, you know, but that would be my struggle is not necessarily like the actual physical part of it, but like the mental and emotional part of it, I guess.
But I like what you're saying there about where your mind is, you know.
Yeah.
So and I've never done an AA class or NA or anything like that, but I feel like this might be a principle spoken there. First of all, when I was in college, I worked at Starbucks, and we had several AA members that would come in there regularly.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And one of the best things I ever got, and this is my tangent, was like, everything is a gift. You get something out of everything, no matter how horrible. And that has stuck with me for 15 odd years, right?
I love that.
What you're saying about your focus, I feel like sometimes as the women, we focus on all these other things, and we want the relationship, and we want the job, and we want the this, and we want the that. And I like that you're bringing it like, yeah, you have your aspirations. This is what I'm getting from it right now.
Yeah.
You have your aspirations, but it's all about like you and Dominic and making sure that relationship is on point.
Yeah.
Because everything else will follow. Every time
I just want to say that. Yeah.
Every time I tell a friend, like, I was doing X, Y, Z, and and as soon as I focused on Bree and what Bree wanted and where Bree wanted to go, my husband came in the picture. Well,
Amen.
Knocked up. I got knocked up. And it was
It happens.
It happens, and it's fine. And it's great. I'm not saying it's easy. Like, don't get me wrong. I could talk an hour about how awful, like, or frustrating and terrible marriage can be. Like, because no one talks about that. That's a podcast for a different day.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that as soon as I chose myself, everything else happened. And I think
so
that's
awesome. So true.
what we miss. And I'm not saying that it's perfect or like, it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Don't think that you're going to choose yourself and everything's just going to unfold and it's going to be like cookie cutter and brilliant.
Right.
No, you got to work for it. But I will say that I remember consciously choosing between my now husband and a different life. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine having a different life. And, and I reflect on that regularly when I'm like angry or annoyed or he didn't do the dishes or the coffee pot is, left on and burning. You know what I mean? Like all the things that set you off.
Right.
So anyway, I'm just trying to capitalize off what you're saying. Is basically
that's so true. Like I know I agree with that because people, like you said, like I don't want to, like that's gonna come. Like I know, hopefully, like I'm eventually gonna get married and like hopefully have another child and it's not going to be me and Dominic just now anymore. You know what I mean? It's not going to be us. And so now this is the time. And because I don't think I lost it. Like I still was there. Like I still hung out with my son. Of course, I'm not like, I didn't like leave him forever. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
like presently, like, and actually listening, but I also think like, he was 2 and 3. But now, I'm not saying it's better because he was 2 and 3, but because now that he's 5, going 6, and he's having these like actually like adult conversations for like a 5-year-old, like he's having these conversations and he's having these thoughts. And I'm not going to be that person. Like I try not to be on my phone either, because some guys will text me, why aren't you texting back? I'm not on my phone, dude. Also, I'm going to block you now because you just said, why you text me back? Like what? But
I'm with my number 1, back off, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's like, no, like we're just hanging out. And even for other things, like, I don't know, like working a lot more or like, that's why I'm doing these other businesses, not necessarily because, hey, maybe they'll take off, maybe they won't, just because like the amount of money I can make in 2 hours versus me going to a restaurant job from 9 to 5 is there, and I have more time feeding for my son to do, whatever. Like if you want to do, just hang out and go, he loves to play soccer. So go kick the ball around. That's it. Like, that's what he wants to do. And that's what I'm going to do. Like, well, especially, so like when I was dating, I did like some speed dating, a couple of dates, but I stopped during the holidays. And we were like, well, when can we hang out again? And I kid you not, I would tell him like February, March. And they'd be like, well, why not? I'm like, because if I have a day off, it's going to be taking Dominic to the lights or taking Dominic watch. Cause you know what I mean? And even now, all this stuff is because I want to like make that relationship and be him to be like, my mom was there, mom's so awesome, my mom's this and that, because like you said, it's not going to be like this forever. And that's my main focus right now, my mindset. And I don't know, that's just it. I have, it's awesome though. It's awesome. I really enjoy it. I love being this, I don't want to say it this way, like it's weird, but like, I love my decision that I made. I am proud of myself because I didn't think I would get here.
No, I think that's awesome.
I really didn't.
I think any deviation from like what the norm is, is always hard. And people think that going out, I mean, I struggle with this personally with my husband. It's like, he's like, oh, I just want to go have a drink. And I'm like, maybe we go for a walk. Like, I still haven't lost the baby weight. And every time I drink, it's just like one more, another set of calories. So this is something I was like really curious about because I've been reading a bunch of stuff about the pandemic in particular, and a lot of people, in particular women, have had like an overconsumption of alcohol. Yeah. How have you been able to like have the opposite? And what would you say to women or just people in general who are struggling with their consumption of any kind of extracurricular substance?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they're going to like what I'd say, but it's going to kill you if you don't stop that way. Like, and it's when people say pick your poison. It's alcohol is poison in your body.
That's a really good point.
It's so like, and everyone's like, oh, well, I do it in moderation. Like, but your moderation, I see you every single day at the bar, drinking 4-ounce martinis.
That's not moderation.
That's not moderation, but also like because it's just vodka. Here we go again with the it's just 4 ounces of vodka every single day. It's not sustainable in your life, you know. And eventually something's going to happen. So, like, it's not, and that's what I always just think about that, because the reason why I didn't drink through the pandemic is because I had my gallbladder attack.
Oh wow! Yeah, that sucks.
I had a gallbladder attack February 8th and 2020, and then my surgery was March 6th. I had to take it out.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So I was already like at home resting, and then when we were able to go back to work, or I was able to go back to work, everyone shut down. So I had an extra long quarantine, but because I couldn't, I don't know, I just was kind of scared to drink on it because you're not supposed to. When you don't have a gallbladder,
well,
like you're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed
so
to.
Much.
No, you're missing an organ, right? And I was like, oh, you don't need it. And I'm like, after doing some research, that's another like side note I could go on, but like after doing some research, I should have taken a second opinion. I could have dissolved those, and I would have had my gallbladder. I wouldn't have had these other health issues that I have now, because I think I made it worse. But anyways, that's another thing. But it's also like, I was like, people ask me, right? Oh my God, how is your skin so amazing? How is your hair so amazing? I'm like, because I don't drink alcohol. I don't put it in my body. Okay, that ages you. I can tell. Like, I don't know. Because I went to estrogen school, and because I just like love skin and face and everything like that. Like, I can tell like your skin is dehydrated, or your skin, like, you're aging yourself faster, or you're
totally.
And the beauty industry, alcohol industry love it because they'll pay top dollar for whatever. So if you're coming to me, because I get that a lot, like a lot of the people like they talk to, they're a little bit older than me. I'm 32. These people are mid 40s, mid 50s, right? And they're asking me what they did, and I'm like, I don't drink alcohol, and I don't say it rudely, of course. I'm like, oh well, I work out, I do this, but they're like, well, what do you really do? And I'm like, well, I stay away from alcohol. I stay away from dairy. I'll treat myself to red meat if it's like a dinner. I don't eat all that stuff, like. But
sorry, my husband's interrupting.
No, you're fine. But it's like, and that's the thing.
It's okay, babe. It's okay.
That's fine. I'm just gonna go and get Bug.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna pick up our.
And that's the thing too.
Interruption.
And so, people are like, well, I have a drink of wine, glass of wine every single day with dinner. Okay, I want to stop that. Okay, well. And that maybe that's fine, but that's their own personal
start with like
thing
a half
that they
glass.
like. Yeah, do a half glass or maybe this, but like once again, I can't tell you to stop. I'm just telling you what I did, what I do. You're asking me what I did. This is what I did. It may not work for you. Like you said, totally. You don't say you're not a party drinker. You just drink at home. They may not work for you to stay in the house all the time. But it comes down to your health. Like my son, if something would happen to me, he goes to his dad, who he's never met. So. That is a terrifying thing for me, because he's going to now, his whole world is going to be turned upside down to go with a complete stranger. And because I decided to continue to do this to myself, what a selfish act that I just did. Wow. And yes, I get,
That's crazy.
People are going to say, oh, it's addiction. I understand. And it's a disease. I get that. I'm just saying, like, me personally, Alex Vega was doing these things, and
yeah,
that's why I turned myself around. That's why I turned it around, because like I said, once again, jail, institutions, or death. And Dominic would have gone to a stranger, and I would have messed this kid up and continued, this circle. Like his dad's on his life. He went to rehab and all these different things, and he's like, how am I going to set my kid up for success?
So but he doesn't have a relationship with his dad. So if that would have happened, like, does his dad even want him? Like,
I have no idea. That's another thing. So what is it? So what is he now in foster care? Like, how terrible! Like, oh my God, that makes me want to cry thinking about that. So this is why I stopped, because it's bad for you. Alcohol is bad for you. It's a poison.
Yeah.
You can get into all that too. We're like, oh, it's a spirit, alcohol. They call it spirits, alcohol. Why do you think you're a different person when you drink it? Why do you think you're a different person under influence? Right? Why do you think you're pissed off? You're mad. You're angry. It's not cute. And the relationship that I want, and the person I want to be, I had to eliminate it. And people, I read something, I forget what it says right now, but it kind of along the line of like, you know, if you want something drastic to change in your life, you have to make a drastic change.
Yeah.
Like I want this life, but I'm still doing the same thing. Or I'm going to just do it on the weekends. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. You know, and you know, and maybe go to therapy. That was a really good thing for me. I'm an advocate for it. I used to not be, not like don't go there, but just I'm like, I don't need it. Like that kind of way. Like, I don't need therapy. I'm good. And then once I did it, like I did it actually 8 months pregnant. Because it was a domestic violence therapy. And I remember seeing ladies with their face like taped up. And one people weren't there to the next. And I was like, if I continue in this relationship, I will be that person. Like, so ever since then, I've been such an advocate for therapy. Especially my class that I did was such a healing process. Obviously, there's other things I want to work on and go from there too. But like, I don't think I'd have this much head on my shoulders if, or in my mindset if I didn't do that class.
I totally agree with the therapy thing. I've been in and out therapy my whole life.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons. And then I totally echo what you're saying about the effects. Like, I feel like I've aged so much in the last 6 months, and there's other things going on. Like,
there's other factors for sure.
But the alcohol consumption, and I'll be totally honest, like, as my alcohol consumption has skyrocketed through this pandemic. Part of it's boredom. I'm stuck at home. Yeah. So many other things, you know, and so that's another reason. I was just like, this is such a milestone and such an inspiration. Like, good for you.
Thank you.
This is amazing. And then I like look at myself in the mirror, like, oh my God, I've aged like like I always just looked like I was like late 20s, and now I look like I'm late 30s, you know? And I'm like, that's just the last 6 months of like stress and alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
Like, what, like, and I don't wear makeup. I don't hide it. I don't get anything done to my face. Like, so it is what it is.
Well, I have a question though. Do you think that because you're stressed out, you drink and then the pattern continues?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I think that it's, there's so many minute factors that go into it. So my husband was let go from his job, and he's on a visa, and his visa got canceled. And so now there's all of these things that go into it. So it's like, we've got a lot of first world problems, which are great, but it's like, it's also like, I don't know what's happening 1 week to the next. Like, I don't.
No, I'm just asking.
So then you just like, let's have a drink and talk about this. Let's have a glass of wine. And then a glass of wine has turned into a bottle. And then you're just like, well, and then like what you're saying with your pattern, just like to kind of like reinforce what you're saying is like, then you're waking up and you're hungover and you're tired and you got a
headache and you're angry and you're still frustrated.
Yep, and you're at a point in life where you can't, like, I used to be able to just go for a run and feel fine.
Oh, yeah, I can't do that anymore. What?
I can't do that anymore.
Oh, I said anymore.
Now it's like...
I never was able to do that. I know.
Yeah. When in my early 20s, I could. I would wake up after like 4 hours, like run 3 miles, and be like, I'm great, and it would be fine. It would be fine. But I don't have that MO anymore. So then your only thing is like, hair of the dog, and then you're just repeating the cycle because you don't just have one, you have 3.
Yeah.
And then you have 6, and then you're drunk, and then you pass out, and you're just like, this is awful. This is terrible.
No, like No, you can go. My mindset has changed completely because, and I'm don't want it to come off like me being hypocritical because of course I've been there, but this is how my mindset has shifted. Like, I don't really want to ever like, I mean, not gonna say ever because you never know, but like, I don't, that's not my mindset to like go drink again. Like, my mindset is to I like view it as like bad. I view it as like poison. I'd rather just, I mean, that's how I view it as, because that's what it was doing to my body and to my mindset. You know what I mean? And so
totally.
And then, like, I was telling this to my friend, like, she actually, hasn't drank for 14 days, and something happened in her life, or in the way she was talking about it, was a positive way. Like, well, maybe this, and I was listening to her talk about it. And because a couple of bad things that happened in her life when she was drinking, and then she was like talking about after work, like with the drink in her hand, and what she was talking about, it was like, oh man, screw this, oh my God, like it was a negative way. But now, like, she didn't know that she was doing it either until I pointed it out. And I was like, you're talking about this in like a positive way, and I'm actually really proud of you, because now you're like ready to take on this issue with a level head, instead of being like, oh shit, here we go. Oh, like being grumpy and like being pissed off. Then you drink more because you're frustrated, and then you're pissed off at yourself because the next day, and then you're playing catch up, and you're mad, and because you have this, and you go drink again. And she was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. And I was like, no, you wouldn't, until I'm pointing out to you, because I literally immediately noticed the difference of how she just was being so level-headed and calm about the situation. And she was like putting it in a positive way to her. And I'm like, see, I'm not saying be people forever, but like, see the difference already in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That your mindset has shifted, and she didn't even realize she was doing that. And so all these people that I say that like come to me like, oh, Alex, you're so pretty, and how do you do that? And this and that. I'm like, because I'm not doing what you're doing. And it's like, you can't have it both. You can't have it both ways.
Cannot.
And too many people want to like take the magic way out and take a magic pill, and I'll be fine. I can do it both ways, and I can do this. And it's like, no, you can't. And so you got to pick one. If you want to lead this like clean and sober life, do it. I welcome you to. If anyone's like struggling, I welcome you to. If you know what I mean? Like, obviously it's easier said than done, but tell someone. If you're struggling internally, tell someone. There's so many people out there wanting to help you. There's so many people out there, programs and everything out there wanting to help you. And don't get me wrong. Oh, it's a lot of money. No, dude, thank you, state of Texas. I pay through the state. So there's help for everybody. I call some places, they're like, oh, you have $9,000 in deposit? Absolutely not. No. So like, it's such a cool way, and it's not boring. People are like, that's boring, you don't drink. It's so cool. I get to do so many cool things. And, yes, the pandemic sucked. Yes, like my car got repoed. I had like 11 different jobs. Like, yes, it sucked, right? But like, how you control yourself and react to that is on you. You know what I mean? Like, I can just sit in my misery and wallow. Yes, don't get me wrong. Shit sucks sometimes, but
amen.
I'm just like, you know what? And that's another thing too. I was able to like sit with my issues and sit with my problems and deal with it in that way, instead of being like, screw it, let me go drink a bottle and go out, and then it like put it on the back burner, because it's like still here, like the
still
mail
there.
Dude, like my mail, like I think by not opening
it backs up.
I think by not opening it, it's not there, but like next, the pile just keeps getting bigger. And it's like, then it's like the red mail, because they're yelling at me because I didn't pay my bill on time. It's like more red, and it's like, attention. And like, I'm like, oh, this is from 2021. Oops. But that's how it is, and so that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to open my mail.
That's a good metaphor. Like, that is a good metaphor for how it piles up. Like,
ugh. You don't open your mail.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Open your mail.
Same with your emotions. Same with your shit. Like, it's not going anywhere.
You have to sit in it. And
it doesn't mean you need to stew. It just means you need to get through it. It means you need to let it simmer and then serve it.
You know how healed you would be? And you know how liberated you feel? When I told him what happened to me when I was young, like in high school, in my little class, I like ugly cry. Like Kim Kardashian's like meme, like crying. Like, I was uglier than that. Like, no boogers coming out of my nose. Like, can't catch my breath. Like shouting. Like, my teacher's face was like jaw dropped. And by the time I got through it, I was just like, I don't think I've ever said that out loud for 15 years. Like, the power in that. But people don't even begin to realize that they have something like that, until they. It's hard for me to go about this, because it's like, yes, it's my own personal choice to get help, but also like there's the addict part of me. So it's like, I don't know if it's like a combination of two, how to go about that. Because people are like, well, I struggle with this. People struggle every single day. And I really do feel grateful and fortunate that I don't think about it every single day. But
yeah.
I've definitely done the work. I didn't just wake up and be like, okay. Because there's a difference. There's a difference of doing the work and then just being like having an absence of alcohol, right? Like there's a difference. Like if you're still like I didn't drink today, but like you're still practicing that same mindset. You're still feeding into that same BS. Mm-hmm. You're still feeding into those same whatever relationship toxic ways. And it got to the point where I realized I was a toxic one. I didn't think I was.
Oh, shit.
And when I realized, I was like, ding, light bulb. But when you're still feeding into that and you're absent alcohol, then you're not healing yourself. You're just not drinking alcohol.
So I love that you said that. I think that's so important. Doing the work and avoiding things are two totally different things.
Yeah.
I that is a really good. That's just good shit. It's just good.
Thank you. It's true. That was my life. That was my life. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't go to AA right now. I don't go to NA right now. I don't. I haven't really gone to anything. I do. I'm around a lot of positive people. I'm around a lot of people that have the same mindset as me, and not necessarily that they're clean and sober, but just in the same, like, I'm around my family a lot more. I mean, I've always been a family person, but so, and whatever that looks like for you, like go to church more, whatever that looks like for you, you know what I mean? But you have to do some sort of work. You can't just not have alcohol or whatever your DOC was and then think that you're healed. Maybe your insides might be healed eventually, but not your mindset of that's going to eventually lead you back to it,
Dang. Is there anything else you want to share? That was really good. It's a lot of good stuff.
It's a lot of good stuff. I just, I'm just so grateful. Like, I appreciate you doing this with me and able to, share my story. And there's obviously more things we can go into about every little thing but it's kind of cool too. Like, I wish like y'all can be in my brain. Like, I wish, like, I just want to know, like, it's fun over here. Like, it's a fun time over here. Like, trust me, like, it's great. Like, I feel so liberated. Like, and I hope if you are struggling, like, you can get there, and I know it's hard. Because if I were to tell you the little things that I used to do, you'd be like, what the hell? Did it crack it? No, I'm just kidding. But, it's just, you can get there, and just like you said, you got to reach out for help. You got to be around the right people. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
Choose. I think the most important thing you said was you got to choose it, though.
You got to choose it.
You're choosing it, and you're living, and you're choosing to live your life a different way. And I think that's
you can't have it both ways. You can't just be the partier on the weekend. I mean, if you don't have a problem, sure, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about people that, suffer from the disease. You can't have it both ways. If you need to get up and move, then you need to get up and move, because like I said, we say jail, institutions, or death. And that's what I went to the J word, I went to the hospital multiple times. What was next? When you think about it that way, that's real. And then you have all these people dying, overdoses and stuff. That could have been me. Why? You know what I mean? All the time.
And you don't know what's in stuff anymore.
No.
No. You don't know.
Or even just drinking and driving. How come? There's so many people that a lot of people that I know have DUIs versus not. Oh, I got two.
Two?
When we take it for granted. No, I don't got two, but I'm saying
that's crazy.
That's what I mean. Like, people just casually say it because we were so, okay, cool. So it's just, and that's the thing. But no, this is super cool. I can't wait to see what else I'm going to accomplish. I feel like this is just the beginning. That's why people are like, are you going to drink again? No, because I've just touched the beginning, and so
scraping the surface
and just, it's so great. And so also one thing I want to share, I did a photo shoot. So I've had this vision. I've had this vision for myself for a long time. Like, even before I was like caught up in this, I wanted to have like a vision of like me in like a superwoman kind of boxing suit kind of thing. And being like, cool, like I overcame, like it was mostly when I was like coming out of like the terrible relationship with my ex. Yeah. I overcame this, I overcame domestic violence, sexual assault, whatever. And so I obviously didn't do it for a long time, but then now hitting the year and I was like, why don't I just do that? So I called all my old friends And he was like, yeah, like I'd love to do that. And so I told him my vision. I was like, I want to do like a boxing metaphor. So I had my other friend like do braids, and I had like boxing gloves, like got a little outfit, and we went to a little boxing, like I went to a gym, had little bags, punching bags, and he was like, hey, well, why don't you like, you want to do a video? And I was like, no, I'm kind of nervous, like I don't know. And he's like, well, no, it's gonna look good. And so I finally, when I got loose a little bit, I was like, all right, like, we can do the video. And he has me like, he's like, who are you? Why are you doing this? And I'm like, I'm Alex Vega, like blah blah, like in my, you know. And then he has one scene of me like punching the bag really hard, and he's like, you know, and I was like, I don't like who I was in the mirror, like blah blah blah, like, and then like another scene of me like coming out of the gym, just like you know, yeah. so stay tuned, because like it's not ready yet, but I'll send you those pictures. I'll post those pictures.
See that.
Yeah, so, and that's another thing too.
I'll post those pictures too. You let me know.
Yeah, no, so it'll probably be ready like next week, but I'm excited. And that was another thing I did for myself, but also mostly myself, but also like I said, if I could touch someone and be like, hey, you know, the phone, like, well, what? Yeah. It doesn't even have to be for addiction. It could be for whatever, you know. So
you never know how your story's going to resonate.
That's exactly,
you know.
Exactly. So.
People are struggling with a lot of stuff, and especially right now, and just having someone they can relate to is huge. It's huge.
Yeah. So it is. Like I said,
on the Mom Who Knows Nada. That's Alex Vega. She's our champion for sure. She's pretty badass in a lot of ways, and like the fact that you're showing up for yourself and your son and doing the single mom thing is amazing. It's just absolutely like incredible. So kudos to you, girlfriend. Like, seriously. I appreciate you and you sharing your story, because I think it's pivotal for people.
Thank you.
I think it's for some of us who are like in this, like myself, like in this gray area of what does it mean to be an addict? What does it not mean to be an addict? Hearing someone's story can help us like kind of put our life like, okay, well, maybe you need to change some behaviors. Maybe you're not an addict, but maybe you're choosing certain things that could, you know, like whatever your genetic predisposition is.
Yeah,
like,
that's
maybe
true.
you need to make better choices. Like, and maybe you need to stop doing certain things if you want different outcomes. Like in general,
yeah. With anything,
if you want different outcomes in life, then you gotta start choosing different behaviors. So I think that's really important to highlight. Well, this is the Mom Who Knows Nada podcast. Again, that's Alex Vega. I don't know if this is going to be one episode or two.
I feel like it should be two.
It's pretty fucking good, though. So I appreciate you and your time. And I hope you learned something and have fun learning all the other things you didn't know you needed to know.
I appreciate it.